After hearing Shen Yuan's words, Chen No was stunned, thinking that helping me open a cafe had already cost 300,000, and now he was buying me a house. Although this city wasn't a top-tier city, buying a house would still cost at least over 1 million. Moreover, I had already been eaten clean from head to toe, and I had nothing left to give him. What was he planning? Could it be that I made him happy last night? Shen Yuan, while hugging her, asked, "Why aren't you saying anything?" "Don't want it," Chen No stammered, replying, "No, it's just a sudden moreover. Your money is too precious. It's not like it's blown in by the wind." Shen Yuan in his heart was secretly happy, thinking, actually, it's not much different from being blown in by the wind. The amount of money in the card that could be used to buy a house was more than 3.5 million. If he used it all, the system would reward him with a cumulative five-fold return, and the balance would immediately exceed 17 million. He hugged Chen No tightly, whispering, "No need to save money for me. What's wrong with buying a house for my woman? Choose one that's 120 square meters or more. I don't want to mistreat my woman." Chen, hearing this, was moved, exclaiming. Shinan, seeing the tears in the girl's eyes, reached out to wipe them gently, then said, "Look, we made such a big commotion last night. The soundproofing here isn't good. Maybe the two houses next door heard it. We can't rent this place anymore." Hearing this, the girl said with a bit of blame, "Isn't it because of you?" He smiled slightly, saying, "I admit that one part of the reason is because of me, but your screams were really loud." Chen No turned her head away, extremely shy, saying, "You're annoying." Suddenly, at this moment, Chen No looked up, saying seriously, "Oh right, I almost forgot. I have two close friends who want to come to the cafe to see me. I made an appointment with them for 10 a.m. Or should we go see the house later?" Shinan also said leisurely, "Buying a house isn't like buying vegetables. Choosing a suitable one and doing the procedures will take a while. An afternoon may not be enough. It's better for us to leave some extra time." Chen No nodded, leaving his arms, then said, "Okay, then let me tell them." Cheno quickly took out her phone to text Tannen, "I have something to do. I can't come to the cafe, or should we make an appointment for tonight? What do you think?" The girl on this side quickly replied, "What's the matter?" But Manglu and I have already arrived at the cafe. Tianan, sitting in the car, read the message, then said, "Menlu, Chen No said that she has something to do and can't come." Emlu asked confusedly, "Huh, what?" She was Chena's best friend, a top fitness trainer. El Menlu Tanan looked at the phone, then said, "I feel that the cafe thing is a lie. It's also possible that Chen No is lying to a man. How can men be so easily deceived? How can he spend 300,000 for her for nothing?" Minglu replied indifferently, "Chen No isn't someone who likes to exaggerate. I feel that it's probably not. Or should you ask her the reason?" Manglu thought, "It's been several years since I met a man who was young and rich." Unexpectedly, Chen No met one first. "No matter what, I have to go meet him once." Tyann looked at the phone, continuously typing on the keyboard, saying, "Okay, let me ask more." Suddenly, Mango's foot stepped hard on the brake, followed by a loud and surprised voice. "Oh my God, is that real? She said that the man wants to take her to buy a house." Yu's steering wheel quickly deviated. She, extremely shocked, exclaimed, "What?" Lianglu, with a surprised face, thought, "It's not a bag or makeup. She said she's buying it, and she's buying a house. Just calculating a 40 square meter apartment, it would cost 500,000 to 600,000. Adding the cafe, a man who's known her for less than half a month is willing to spend several million for her. I definitely have to meet this man. Even if Chen No is following him, surely this kind of man doesn't only have one woman. If it comes to the ability to make men happy, I'm much better than Chennai. It's really sisterhood," Manglu thought, then said, "Tianan, you ask them which building they're going to. Tell her we're going over there to help her. Anyway, we don't have anything to do today. It's better to have one more person to help her choose than her choosing by herself." While saying this, she thought, "Chen No, I'm sorry. This time, instead of letting those outside benefit, it's better to let our sisters benefit." Tianan also quickly did as she said. "Okay, let me ask." 40 minutes later, at the Tanghu Chandi Sales Center, Lingu got out of the car and was immediately surprised, thinking, "Oh, Tanghu Chandi, the smallest house in this building cost more than 1 million. Supporting a mistress and directly giving her a house worth more than 1 million? When will this wealth fall on my head? Tyan looked around for a while, then waved towards the front, saying, Chen No, long time no see. Chen No quickly replied, That's right. I miss you guys so much. Tyan walked over, taking the girl's hand, then asked, Chen No, who is this handsome man beside you? Why don't you introduce him? Chen No happily walked to his side, then enthusiastically introduced, Shanann, these are my two best friends. She's called Vlu, she's a fitness trainer. She's called Hotan, she's a salesperson at Farah. Mlu Tanan, he Shanann. The two girls were also very enthusiastic with their friend's man. Menlu didn't care about her image, walking over and putting her hand on Shen Yuan's chest, flirting, Hello Shen Yuan, your body is a bit thin, you need to gain muscle. If you have time, you can come to my gym to train. She thought, unexpectedly, he's Chen's sugar daddy. He looks to be less than 25 years old, is rich, young, and handsome. It's really infuriating. Shen Yuan smiled, replying coldly, Forget it. If I train at your gym, I'm afraid I won't be able to concentrate. Lu observed the situation in front of her, then thought, in front of Chen, no, he didn't resist my teasing. Maybe he and Chenna aren't in a relationship. The red marks on Chenna's knees have made the problem clear. Last night's battle was very intense. Maybe she made him happy last night, so he's buying her a house. Tannen, at this moment, said happily, Hello, Shenu. If you want to change cars, you can come to Ferala to take a look. Shen Yuan replied gently, Okay, if I want to change cars, I'll find you. Shanann, at this moment, also looked at the two favorability ratings above the two girls' heads. Vlu was 68, and her Shansang was 67. Shanann smiled, thinking, We just met, and it hasn't even been 5 minutes, and these two women have already started to be interested in me. Chen, no, are you sure these two are your best friends? However, this matter is only beneficial to me, not harmful. Having one more woman with a favorability rating above 60 means having one more money tree. Thinking for a while, the group quickly went to buy a house. A middle-aged man, seeing Shanann, was jealous, thinking, Buying a house and bringing 3 top-quality beauties. Showing off to who? The saleswoman walked out from inside, enthusiastically introducing, Sir, we are selling Building 3 and Building 7. The average price is about 10,500. Or should you look at the model first? Shen Yuan said straightforwardly, No need. My budget is 3 million. Just directly introduce an apartment and floor that are suitable for this amount of money. The saleswoman said enthusiastically, Is that so? Then, sir, please come into the negotiation room to talk. I'll introduce it to you in more detail. LMLU, seeing the spending, was so shocked that her jaw dropped, thinking, Oh my God, what level of sugar daddy? Just casually waving his hand is already 3 million. I have to think of a way to hook this biggest fish, she thought, and followed behind Shen Yuan. The staff sat down enthusiastically, reporting, With your budget, I recommend this 165 square meter house. It faces north, with the main side facing south. The price for the whole house, with the discount, is 2,840,000. Chen No, her face full of worry, pokes Shen Yu's waist, whispering, Shannon, it's too expensive. Shen Yuan put his hand on the girl's thigh, smiling, and said, It's okay. Don't feel bad about the money. A big house is more comfortable to live in. Manglu and Hotan, seeing this scene, were speechless, thinking, The woman wants to save money for him, but he doesn't want it. He only wants to give women the best. He's really a legendary, unparalleled, affectionate, and righteous sugar daddy. Shen Yuan, in his heart, thought, I still have to bargain the price. Otherwise, it's troublesome if others think of me as a fool. Thinking this, he said, Calculate the discounted price, beauty. I know you guys can still reduce the price more. The saleswoman said enthusiastically, Can you decide today? If you can, I'll immediately help you ask for a bigger discount. Shen Yuan said generously, We don't need the other discounts. Exchange to parking spaces for them. Actually, the prices are about the same. This generous shopping made Liang Lu secretly decide, I definitely have to get this man, she thought, and gently smoothed her hair. Shinan, seeing the scene of showing off her body, was confused, thinking. He observed for a round, then thought, If you look closely, you'll realize that this girl is really top-notch. If I can really have something happen with her, then the feeling of happiness would be unimaginable. The more he thought, the redder his face became. The sexy image of Liang Lu appeared in his mind. Shen Yuan covered his face, telling himself, now is not the time to be distracted. I should still focus on finishing the house matter. Half an hour later, the saleswoman handed a pen and paper to Shen Yuan, saying, all the discounts have been calculated, Mr. Shen. The total payment is 2.98 million. This is the contract. Please sign your name. He cheerfully picked up the pen and signed his name decisively. Ilu thought in surprise. He just casually bought Chen Nuo a house worth 3 million. The important thing is that he only wrote Chen's name. When will this wealth be my turn to enjoy? After the payment was completed, Xin Yu's phone showed a notification. Construction bank card with the last 4 digits 98 of yours received 14.9 million yuan at 11:40 on May 22nd. The current balance is 15,300,000 yuan. He smiled, thinking, the money in the card has exceeded 15 million. Even when old Shen was at his most glorious, the money in the house didn't reach this number. The system is really awesome. If it weren't for Chen Nuo activating the task, I wouldn't have been able to jump to become a rich man in one fell swoop. It seems that expanding the female NPC is the way to go. The system ran out another notification. Preparing to issue reward 2. Congratulations, host, on obtaining a Chingu Lake Villa in Luchang. Please come to the real estate office at 9 o'clock tomorrow to receive it. Shen Yuan was surprised and expectant, thinking, oh my God, a big villa, and it's one of the top houses in the city. Awesome. The real estate agent at this moment looked at Shen Yuan as if looking at the god of wealth, thinking, the real estate market is currently declining, yet this Mr. Shen can buy a house, pay in full, and give it to her. Moreover, they're not husband and wife. Maybe they're not even boyfriend and girlfriend. I want to hug this big thigh. She lightly adjusted her glasses, saying, Mr. Shen, the contract has been signed. I'll contact her about the other procedures. Do you think we need to add each other on WeChat? If you need anything in the future, you can find me. Shen Yuan cheerfully took out his phone, saying, okay, I'll scan yours. V. Minggu, seeing the two adding each other on WeChat, was annoyed, thinking, where did this come from? Daring to touch my cake. She immediately stood up, saying, Shen Yuan, recently I'm also planning to buy a small apartment. At that time, I'll still have to ask someone with rich experience like you to help me with the consultation. Moreover, if you need to train at the gym in the future, you can also find me. She just held her phone, acting coyly, and went to Shen Yuan's side. He also said very comfortably, no problem. Shen Yuan stood up, rubbing Chin Nuo's head, smiling, and said, Chin Nuo, I still have something to do in the afternoon, so I won't go with you guys. It's good that I don't disturb the 3 of you gathering. You can go eat or go to the cafe. Chen Nuo smiled, replying, okay. Then Yu Mangu stood there blankly, thinking, huh? Leaving now? Not even eating together? I've already turned on the green light. Like that, Chen Nuo turned to say to her 2 scheming friends, Minglu and Tanan, then let's find a place to eat first, and then I'll take you to the cafe. Honan said excitedly, you have to treat us to a meal today. Your net worth is 3 million now. Tian Tian and I are both extremely envious. Li Manglu also chimed in, that's right. That's right. Switching the scene to half an hour later, at the school cafeteria, Shen Yuan, carrying a plate of rice, was looking for a seat when he saw the ex's figure in the distance. In his heart, he thought, today, Teacher Lei is alone. The other female students passing by all secretly looked at her, then whispered. Lei picked up her phone, saying gently, I understand. I understand. I'll prepare the documents later. Maybe I can finish the report tomorrow. Of course, I've already inquired. Currently, the University of Science, the Agricultural University, and even the business school will have this base tomorrow night. Tomorrow night, I don't have free time, Secretary Liu. I'm really sorry. I really have something to do this time. Okay, goodbye. She, seemingly flustered, glanced at Shen Yuan, who was walking over. He quickly sat in front of Lei, asking curiously, what's wrong, teacher? The girl replied calmly, our school is about to establish a student entrepreneurship base. I'm a member of that group. I was just talking about this matter. Shen Yuan asked curiously, an entrepreneurship base? Lei enthusiastically explained, the school plans to provide support to students who have entrepreneurial ideas. It can provide investment, locations, and entrepreneurial guidance. However, currently there are some difficulties. There's not enough investment money. We have to cooperate with companies outside the school to get it. Shen Yuan noticed a glimmer of opportunity, asking, "What conditions can our school offer to the company?" Lei replied, "The only thing the school can do is provide talent. Every year, it will periodically transfer outstanding graduate students to the company." Shen Yuan said silently, "Our school doesn't have any advantages in this matter. How can the quality of graduate students compare to the talents of top universities?" Lei also said tiredly and awkwardly, "That's right. If the company doesn't get what they want, then of course they won't come to invest." Remembering the matter from before, Lei blushed, thinking shyly, "A university teacher like me was even called out by Secretary Liu to drink with the old boss of the company. Just thinking about it made me—" Shen Yuan observed Lei for a while, then thought, "Looking at the troubled appearance of the teacher, although I have 10 million specifically for investment, I also have to think about the profit situation. This kind of project has to earn money. The success rate of students has to reach 33%. I'm afraid that even 20% won't be reached." He then spoke up. "Actually, I also heard Lei thought Shen Yuan wanted to start a business, so she said, 'Are you interested?'" Shen Yuan, in fact, was a sugar daddy, saying calmly, "A little, but not much." Lexio smiled, saying, "It's good to have this idea, but the project hasn't been determined yet. Maybe it's difficult." At the same time, the system also showed a notification. New task, a perfect life not only has to accumulate wealth, but also has to have enough reputation to create influence in all circles of society. Because the host is currently a university student, the influence needs to be expanded starting from the university. Task: obtain reputation through investing in the school's project. Task reward: every time you accumulate 500 points of reputation, you will get a chance to draw a lottery. You have the opportunity to obtain attribute points and special abilities. Note: reputation points only refer to the reputation that is worshipped by everyone, representing the recognition and respect of others for the host. The reputation points this time are only counted from teachers and students in the university. Shen Yuan nodded, thinking, "This way I can also start the task." Anyway, the investment money is also given by the system. It's just that if I only think about getting reputation points and don't think about profit, then this entrepreneurship base is very suitable. It just so happens that it can help the teachers solve the worries in front of her. Shen Yuan recognized a huge business opportunity. His eyes lit up, thinking, "That's right. I'm the investor. Who I invest in and how much I invest is all up to me. Then wouldn't I be investing in those beautiful senior and junior sisters to open stores? I can both get reputation points and increase favorability. I'll be so rich that my hands will cramp from drawing money." He asked enthusiastically, "Teacher, if a person or a company wants to invest, then will the investment side evaluate the students who receive the investment, or will the school evaluate them?" He thought, "I still have to decide first. Don't let the school take away the money I invest at that time." Lexia honestly replied, "In theory, it's evaluated by the school, but the current situation is that we can't get investment, so the space for discussion is very large." "Why did you suddenly ask this?" Shenyun went straight to the point. "I want to invest, but I have a condition. I must be allowed to evaluate the students who receive the investment." Li thought he was joking, saying, "Shenyuan, don't joke around. Didn't your family go bankrupt? You even have to apply for financial aid." He quickly put his phone in front of Liz, then said, "This is my account balance, teacher. You count how many zeros there are." He thought, "Now there's basically no need to be humble anymore. This way I can get reputation points." Lizzie, both surprised and counting, 1, 2, 3, 9 zeros, more than 15 million. The girl exclaimed, "Shenyuan, how do you have so much money?" He made up a reason, then said, "When my family was still doing well, I invested in Bitcoin and foreign exchange trading myself. This is all the money I earned." Toy was sweating, thinking, "This is too unreal. My student is actually a millionaire." Shen Yuan looked at the girl for a while, then said, "Teacher, or you don't know." Before he could say what, the girl exclaimed in surprise, "What?" Shen Yuan stood up suddenly, then said, "Follow me. In the future, we'll travel the world, guaranteeing that you'll eat and drink your fill." The scene of the two being happy at this moment appeared directly in Shen Yuan's mind. Lizzie shyly smoothed her hair, her face red, replying, "Don't talk nonsense. Are you sure you want to invest in this project? According to what I know, very few of the school's entrepreneurship bases have profit. I suggest you think carefully. This isn't a small amount of money." Shen Yuan said seriously, "I have my own plans for this. However, it doesn't matter. The main thing is that I want to contribute to the development of the school. Looking at his face, Lizzie thought, Shen Yuan is very serious. She suddenly imagined a series of different scenes, but then she quickly shook her head continuously to get rid of those dark thoughts in her head. Li thought, could it be that what he said just now about me following him was also serious? Lai, he's your student. What are you thinking? The girl shyly stood up quickly, saying, I'll talk to Secretary Liu about this matter when I get back. I'll go first. You eat slowly. We'll talk later. Seeing the girl turning her back and leaving in a hurry, Shen Yuan called out, hey, teacher, you should also think about the matter of eating and wearing well. Switching the scene to 5 p.m., Chen took a picture and texted Shen Yuan, this is the coffee I made myself. If you're free, come over and taste it. Shen Yuan quickly replied, just looking at it, I know you didn't make it right. Ah, come over and train you. Shen Yuan looked at the second picture, rubbing his chin, thinking, the coffee isn't made well at all. On the contrary, this way of dressing, just looking at it, is very sexy. A moment later, a girl named Tong Sha appeared. She was a classmate from the International Trade Department in the same class as Shen Yuan. Another voice rang out, Shen Yuan is no longer a rich second generation. He's become a poor wretch. Why do you remember him every day? Maybe he has to work part-time to earn money to pay for school. The words were all said by Charing. But why do you want to date Heng Haba, who's in the same room as Xuan? Another girl said coyly, don't mention it. I've refused so many times, yet he still shamelessly clings to me. That's right. At that time, he'll invite us to eat. You guys have to go with me. The long-haired girl said, even if I'm asked out by Wang Haiba, at least I can get a meal. But if I go with Shen Yuan, then I'll only have to spend more money. Shay, you really have to think clearly before doing it. The short-haired girl glanced behind her, whispering, speak softly. Look over there. Shen Yuan is coming over. The long-haired girl, seeing him, said, what did I say just now? Look, isn't he really working part-time? It's more than 3 o'clock now. It's just the time to prepare at the restaurant. The short-haired girl giggled, saying, or should we go see which restaurant he's working at? If you guys don't dare to ask, then I'll go ask. Tongshai said anxiously, it's not very good. Everyone is friends. There's no need to be like this. The long-haired girl put on a superior air, hands on her hips, looking down, and said loudly, Shen Yuan, why haven't I seen you recently? Are you busy working part-time? Which restaurant is it? We'll also go visit. Shen Yuan looked up at her like a fool, thinking in his heart, what is she asking? Forget it. For the sake of Wang Heiba, I won't argue with them. But I have to vent this anger. I will tease them a bit. He smiled, saying, that's right. I'm working part-time at a cafe. You guys want to go? Let's go together. I'll treat you to coffee. The group quickly went to Chen Nuo's ES cafe near the school. Li Mangu at this moment was also talking happily with Chen Nuo. The long-haired girl, seeing this scene, was stunned, thinking, damn, that person with the tall figure, flexing hair, and wearing a short skirt, is there really someone who can have legs like in a comic? Is it a bit too much? Tong Shai, her face red, thought, the two older sisters are so beautiful and have such a presence. The short-haired girl was also stunned, thinking, the other person's figure is also too good. Does this kind of figure, with big breasts and a curvy butt, still exist? Chen Nuo and Li Mangu walked to his side. Chen Nuo said enthusiastically, Shen Yuan, you're here. Liang Lu also said, Shen Yuan, didn't you say you had something to do in the afternoon, and you're just taking these 3 female friends out too?